Survival of the fittest, cause we all gotta eat. Nigga talking is cheap, 40 yards with my cleats. Spitting fire, I'm exhausted from heat. Feeling
Yo, what's going on, everybody? You know who this is. One half After Hours Live for the Man Cave. Your host, Tay Wiggs, man. First and foremost, man, let's get right into it, man. We got some games going on in the NBA playoffs. We now are in Eastern and Western Conference semifinals. We already know it's 8 teams left. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, the Raptors, the Boston Celtics. You got both LA teams. That is the Lakers, the Clippers. You got the Houston Rockets, and of course the Denver Nuggets have been so far the surprising team. But the surprising team has been the Miami Heat, and it's so crazy because I wrote an article on these guys right in the middle of the season. I would say around right before All-Star break, how this team was gonna make a push and make a deep run in the playoffs once they get everything lined up just right. And so far, this team has proven everybody wrong, except for the people that live in South Florida or in the Miami area. And of course, myself, who I've been riding with them, let them know they was gonna be one of them teams that nobody want to play because what the Jimmy Butlers and the Jay Crowders bring into the world as a defensive strategy type player. It's not also him, but you put a former NBA champion in that with Andre Iguodala. So you got Andre Iguodala, who's on the bench and teaching the young guys how to play playoff basketball, taking their time, looking for their shots, how to line up on defense, how to read certain defensive plays, put them in the right spot for defensive assignments. That's key to a team to get to an NBA Finals. And you're looking at this Milwaukee Bucks team with the former MVP and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Could this be his last game that we might see him in the Milwaukee Bucks uniform? We know he's gonna be a game time decision. That they said knee soreness or something like that. But according to my homeboy Harvey, that is called loser limp. Superstars play no matter what type of injury is, how many games they down. They're gonna have to ride it till the wheels fall off. And you're looking at the first 3 games of this series of the Bucks and the Miami Heat. And I told everybody off jump, just doing little videos here and there. I like the Heat. I like the Heat. And of course, I did pick the Bucks to win game number 3 because you don't want to go down 0-3. And when the case may be, they are down 0-3. Budenholzer has been down 0-3 before with the Atlanta Hawks team and got swept by the Cavaliers. Now, I think that was his 2015, 2016 team, if I'm not mistaken. You look at these game 1 situations where the Miami Heat beat them 115-104, and Jimmy Butler poured in 40, went 13 for 20. On 20 shots, he scored 40 points. And the crazy thing, the nickname he got, Jimmy Buckets. Don't let that name fool you, people. He get buckets. It's just not the way that you think he get buckets. Defense guy first, always gonna find ways to score. If he getting about 2 or 3 steals a game, that's about 6. That's gonna lead to about 6 points and maybe an and 1 possibility. When you as a defensive anchor out there leading younger guys into those roles, and as you step up in your game, and right now the Jimmy Butler game has been on the incline. He's been going up and up and up, and he's been that type of player. He just wanted a chance, and he's fitting really well in the Heat culture. And we can't forget about guys like Udonis Haslem, who is still on the bench and still teaching. Yeah, he's might not be out there playing, but he's teaching from afar. He's teaching these guys between timeouts. And I just feel like the Miami Heat is that team that nobody probably want to play in the East. I've been saying it before. Because I had them in the East. I said the Miami Heat or the Indiana Pacers is going to be one of the teams that don't nobody want to play in the Eastern Conference when it comes playoff time. And Miami Heat so far is that team. So you look at a game when I say Jimmy Butler had 40. You look at you had Jay Crowder who had 9 points, 9 rebounds, still another defensive guy out there, another anchor who actually went to Marquette with Jimmy Butler. And of course, their counterpart made across on the other team, Wesley Matthews. We're gonna talk about him later, folks. But back to the Miami Heat. Younger guy, Bam Adebayo, 12 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. Dragic, 27 points, 6 rebounds. And I'm looking at Dragic in these games. Don't last 2 games in the series they played against Indiana in that first round. When he went back to back and had 20 plus, I said they wrote the dragon up. The dragon is officially woken, and he has been each game he has been going up and up, and he putting that team in the right place. You see the cut videos telling his teammates, "I love y'all. Let's go do this." That's what leaders do, making his team feel comfortable for the moment. And like I said, Dragic with 27 points with his 6 rebounds and the 5 assists, which is huge. You get the young flamethrower Tyler Hero, wrote an article on him. I'm gonna post that article later on. Then I'm looking at, when you go look at this Miami Heat team, they're talkative, they aggressive, they not scared. The one thing I think people took credit for this Miami Heat team, they're looking like they don't have a real legit superstar. That's cool. That's cool. They got guys that put their hard hats on and bring their lunch pails to work, and they get it in. You look at a team like the Milwaukee Bucks throughout this series. We know what you're going to get from Chris Middleton. You know what you're going to get from Giannis. Lopez has been stepping up. But to have Wesley Matthews in your game 1 to give you 7 points, George Hill to give you 8 points, these guys been MIA. And I ain't talking about where the Heat play at. Missing in action. And you go to the game 2, it's the same thing, same results. Except for game 1, they had no Eric Bledsoe. It doesn't matter. He's not a lethal or legit scorer. He's not what you call a high-volume shooter or a high-volume scorer. You're looking at Wesley Matthews. Go to game 1, 7 points. Now game 2, he got 4 points. Now you broke him into your different things. Maybe you need to put a Pat Connaughton in the lineup. Slide him in there. Maybe you need to put a Dante DiVincenzo in there. You just not get enough from Wesley Matthews. Period. So far in this playoff series or throughout his playoffs right now, in the 2020 playoffs, he's been horrible. He has not been giving anybody anything to get the Milwaukee Bucks no type of hope. And the reason I'm saying that because got the contract. We thought he was gonna do what he's gonna do. We thought he was gonna be that 12 to 13 point guy that they need for the Bucks. If he scored 13, 12 points a game, this series could be the other way around. Oh, they could be up 3-0, but it's not. The one thing I like about the Miami Heat and what Erik Spoelstra is doing and that coaching staff, they are building a wall on Giannis Antetokounmpo. They are making it very difficult for Giannis to get his shots up. They don't care. All right, we cool. Lopez, you can get your shot. DiVincenzo, you can get yours. Bledsoe, you can get yours. But guess who got to beat us? Yes, the freak Greek, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Build that wall up on you, which they've been doing, throwing Jimmy Butler at Jay Crowder, Bam Adebayo. He's getting different bodies thrown at him. A Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk, Iggy. It's hard when you're the lone star you're really the lone superstar on your team, trying to will your team to victory, and you facing adversity because you're down 0-3. Coach Budenholzer need to make some adjustments. I've been hearing people say it before. I've been saying it too as well. I said, yes, they got Chris Middleton, but he's not that superstar or that type of player. He's an all-star, but he's not that player you think is going to take that next level. I always call him the poor man's Michael Redd because we knew Michael Redd would step up in certain occasions and put his team on his back. I still haven't seen where, you know what, from a Chris Middleton, I never seen him say, you know what, Giannis can't get going. Let me put this ball more in my hands. Let me get in takeover mode. We not seeing that. And until he reached that type of mode in his head, so you know what? I know he watching TV. People saying, man, he's not that player. So that would, as me, if I was in his shoes, that would fuel me even more to be that more lethal in the court. Prove the doubters wrong. Go out there and do more. He's doing less. Yes, 28 points looking good in these games, but it's not going over into the W column. You need more from other guys. George Hill hasn't been the same since he missed that game-winning shot for the San Antonio Spurs. So he hasn't been the same since that finals. You get what you pay for. Same thing when he was in Cleveland in the NBA Finals. Didn't show up to the party. So you get where I'm going. So you're looking at where in these games, in the game 2, when the Milwaukee Bucks lost by 2 points. Jimmy Butler took 8 shots. He was 3 for 8. He had 13 points going on with 6 assists and 3 steals. And this team found other ways to win. Now listen to this. When I say other ways to win, when you're looking at certain things like that, at certain guys, you're looking at Jay Crowder in the game 1, who had 9 points. He followed it up in game 2 with 16 points. You're looking at Bam, who had 12 points and 17 rebounds. He followed that up with 15 points, 9 rebounds. This will get better because I think Duncan Robinson had like 4 points in game 1. Duncan Robinson had 13 points. So you see what I'm saying? The plus minus is going up. Dragic, 23. He had 27 in game 1. Tyler Herro had 11, but he followed up in game 2 with 17. Different guys are scoring, stepping up. So you're looking at Chris Middleton in the game 2, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Giannis had 29 points, 14 rebounds. Lopez was 16. Wesley Matthews was 4. You're not getting that good production from your backcourt. Eric Bledsoe, who came back and played in game 2, 16 points, 7 rebounds. They have to do more. They got to play like the gym is on fire. They not. The Milwaukee Bucks are playing like we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, which they do. They playing like we got a cakewalk and we're going to fly. We're going to fly right through the East. It's not that easy. Playoff mode is different. The Miami Heat and the Phoenix Suns, who didn't make the playoffs, was one of those teams in the bubble who was heating up in the teams that did not want to play. When you're looking at that, they showed it. When you go over to that game 3, when you see it from now, I take away from game 2, the Miami Heat was just bullying them. Straight. This series been a straight bully ball. As you go into that game 3, where they gave up, the Milwaukee Bucks gave up 40 points in the fourth quarter. Only scored 13. And Jimmy Butler is going down the court, yelling back and forth, saying, I'm talking about Giannis, saying that he can't guard me. He can't guard me. You seen the memes on Instagram and Twitter and wherever you may be with Killmonger, with Jimmy Butler face on top about it. Is this your MVP or this your defensive player of the year? So when you looking at that and saying, what can we get different from Giannis? He's going to put up the numbers. 21, this is really good at. He got 21 points, 16 boards, 9 assists in game 2. Chris Middleton with 18. Like I said, they want to win. Chris Middleton got to score 30. For them to win, they got to score 30 apiece, 60 points. Then you look at Lopez, fall up again with 22, playing nice. Wesley Matthews, again, 6 points. You can't win like that. Can't have a shooting guard that's not shooting the rock. You look at Eric Bledsoe, 8 points, who scored half that last game. He had 16, now he's at 8. George Hill gave you 13. There's no continuity going on right there. You've seen the faces of them in that fourth quarter when they got outscored 40. Their emotions on their faces show you how that series is going. They was looking lost. They're looking like, man, our season could be over. They looked like they had no fight or no care. When teams show those type of emotions and throw that white flag up, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This could be the last game that we may see Giannis Antetokounmpo in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. Where could he go? Could it be Dallas? Could it be New York? They are starving for a star. Or could it be the Toronto Raptors? We don't know. Who knows? It could be the Golden State Warriors. You don't want him to go to Golden State. Get him with Steph and Draymond and Clay, and they get the number 2 draft pick. That could be dangerous. When you get like that in your career, you've been there for so long, the urge for a championship ring clicks in. Like, I got to get one ASAP. So if they lose game 4 to be a wrap and to be a number 1 seed team, I think the last time a number 1 seed team that been swept like that, I think it's been like 8 teams like that in the NBA history to be swept like that. So Milwaukee Bucks got to do some homework. They got to get a win. If not, they're going to be in trouble. Not when you give up Jimmy Butler in game 3, 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Then you got Jay Crowder pouring in with 17. Bam Adebayo, 20 points, 16 rebounds. Dragic with 15. Tyler Herro with 13. I'm gonna go back to Giannis in these series. I'm not saying they building a wall on him. I said they're gonna make everybody else beat them. Building the wall to stop him from going to the whole dunking. And James Harden said the best. I wish I could be 7 feet and dunk all day. Did James Harden give a clue away or something and say, you know what? Miami Heat called on, say, you know what? We're gonna build a wall on him. He's not about to come through the hole and just dunk on everybody all day. You gotta put some trust in the jumper. Doesn't have a jumper. If he can get a jumper, be one of the most deadliest, scariest, treacherous guys in NBA history. Until he develop a jumper and be comfortable when he's shooting the ball, sky's the limit for Giannis Antetokounmpo. We already know he won an MVP. We know he's the fan favorite in Milwaukee. He's a well-liked guy around the league. But if he can develop that jumper, it would take his game to another level because now everything else will open up even more for you. I can shoot a three-pointer. I can shoot a 15-foot. I can hit you with a pump fake, and I can still drive to the hole. So you can add other stuff to your arsenal in your games. Enough of them. So game four tonight, I'm going with the Miami Heat. Sweet. Maybe the last time we see Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Bucks jersey. So we going right along with that. I'm saying the Eastern Conference with this one. The Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors was a comfortable. They had this. We already knew this was going to be a type of series that we knew was going to go back and forth with some haymakers, some punches to the gut, a little nosebleed. But when the Boston Celtics went up 2-0, folks, they got super, super comfortable. Up 2-0, like I keep saying, never underestimate a heart of a champion. You looking at this game one when the Celtics jumped all over the Raptors, 112-94. And you looking at where Tatum had 21 points, 9 rebounds, doing his thing. You looking at Marcus Smart, who's been playing phenomenal in this series. 21 points, 6 rebounds, huge. Kemba Walker, 18 points, 10 assists. We just need to see more from other guys. We need to see more from Brad Wanamaker. Maybe we already heard today Gordon Hayward back into the bubble. And maybe if he come back in, come back into this series, that give them another scoring option, which could be dangerous. But when you're looking at that game one loss, where I took away from it, where it is that Marc Gasol, you have to get him involved more. 7 points and 6 rebounds is not enough. Maybe since he lost a little weight, they say when you lose weight, you gain quickness. For him losing weight, he lost some quickness about him. He lost a little umph about him. Because normally when he get that ball in the paint, the tank go to work. I haven't seen the tank go to work in a while. So what that Raptors team need to do is find other ways that I've been saying you got to get Marc Gasol going because they're not getting Marc Gasol going. He's not getting the touches. We know Pascal Siakam is trying to butt into that star. But if they want to win like with Pascal, he has to do more. I see he only had one move. He's doing the spin move so much. And like I said, I think I counted the spin move in game one probably about 26 to 27 times. He got to find different ways how to score without that spin move. And we know he can shoot the ball, post up a little bit more, and body some people. I'm looking at Kyle Lowry. You already know he's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to give you 17-8 pretty much every game. But since you're not getting that production from a Marc Gasol, why don't you put Serge Ibaka back into the lineup to open the lead up, to jump on him early because, Serge can step on, hit the three, he can hit the 10 to 15 foot mid range. He can post up, you know what I'm saying? And he's a defensive rebound grabber, and he runs the floor very well for a big man his size. I feel like that's how they got to overcome when they lost game one. You go to game two as the Celtics won by 3 points, 99 or 102. Marcus Smart played stellar again. He had 19 points. Out of his 19 points, 16 of those points came in the fourth quarter, which was key because he was hitting all type of threes. And, and the Celtics was down in that game. It was trailing a lot. And for them to make a run like that, show you the heart that the Boston Celtics have, not giving up when you're down. The game is never over, people, like my father said. until those quadruple zeros hit the scoreboard. Then that's when the game be over. When the game is still going on, you still have a snowball fighting chance in hell to get the game won, in which the Boston Celtics has done that. So you're looking at where Jason Tatum had 34 points. But like I said, Marc Gasol on the other end with 6 points. They need to insert him more into the offense. Slow it down. I've been saying it before. I've been preaching about OG Anunoby. Game 2, he had 20 points. But I said the one thing, if they want to win, the X factor for them would be like a OG Anunoby and a Norman Powell. The reason I said OG first, because I said, OG's become a more of a three-point shooter in the corner, just like PJ Tucker is for the Houston Rockets. When OG feel like last year when they won a championship, I seen on his face, like he had the ring, he was happy, but it's a different feeling when you are not playing for your ring and you're in street clothes. So he feel like he got something to prove. I'm gonna come back in, I'm gonna do my thing. And I feel like if the Raptors want to win this series, he's so far been key, just like Norman Powell. Those are the two guys that need to be more aggressive, which they have been. As you move right along, like I said, as you go along right to games 3 and 4, where the Raptors came back, game-winning shot. We don't know how. They had Taco Fall up there late in the fourth quarter, how many seconds is left, and arms up. He didn't even jump. I don't even think he jumped. OG was open where he was at. Side 3, corner pocket, cash. But leading up to that point, the Boston Celtics had a nice lead. They got too comfortable. The reason I'm saying that, a lot of teams shoot a lot of threes. And I'm looking at how, when I'm saying they shoot on threes when you get comfortable, when you down by that many, and you was up, when you was up by 10 or 12 points late. But when you go 9 for 29 from the three-point line as a collective unit, and that's only 31%, that's not enough to get that team to where they gotta go. I always say this, by me being a young man or whatever, in his mid-30s, 34 years old to be exact. By me watching old school basketball, early 90s into the early 2000s, the 15-footer is extinct, just like the big man is. Don't nobody want to use the big man in the post. Don't know two guard want to come off that screen and hit that 15-footer. The 15-footer is pretty much like the butter shot. Because 9 times out of 10, if you play it just right off the screen, you're going to get fouled. The Richard Hamiltons, the Reggie Millers, the Mark Prices, the Kobe's, the Michael Jordans. We could go on and on and on about the 15 mid-range jump shooters. John Stockton. These guys are pure money from 15 feet. The newer guys want to shoot threes and dunk. It's more to basketball than threes and dunk. The three ball is pretty much just like more of the icing on the cake if somebody's wide open. But everybody's trying to go to the cup or hit that 15 mid. If you hit that 15-footer every game and you can hit by 8 or 10 of them, man, that hurts. That hurts the defense. Especially a good defending team, if they can't guard it very well. They have to find some other ways, these younger guys, to get that 15-footer in their arsenal. When you look at that game 3 loss, like I said, Kyle Lowry played huge, 31 points, 8 assists. OG Anunoby, again, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Fred VanVleet with 25 and 6. It's just, then listen to this. Marc Gasol had a better game, 10.6 rebounds. When he gets the ball more, I think better things happen for the Raptors. That's just me, period. You see when he's doing losses, only average like 6 points. When he getting the ball more, man, that's a totally different team when he's actually in double digits. It is. It's the honest God truth. You're looking at Kemba Walker. He had 29 points, but they lost. But you look at Jaylen Brown, 19 points, 12 rebounds. They lost game 3. Jason Tatum didn't play his best basketball. He's 5 for 18 with 15 points. We already know when he scored more points, 20 points or more, that team 9 times 10 walk away with the game victory. Brad Stevens is going to find some other ways for them for game 5. When you go right to that game 4, when that series is tied up 2-2, the Boston Celtics 93, the Raptors 100. The Celtics is playing catch up from the third quarter all the way to the fourth. And I'm going to quote Fred VanVleet. When won game 3. As they were walking back to the locker room, he was yelling obscenity, saying this. They done effed up now. They done effed up now. I'm saying to myself, all right, heart of a champion, you won a championship. That little championship juice of blood started getting flowing. Like, they messed up, y'all. We down 0-2. People writing us off like we gonna get swept or Boston gonna dismantle us. They champions, baby. One thing I always say, never underestimate the heart of a champion until they lose. But right now, they was down 0-2. Now they was down 2-1. They come back. They hit that miracle 3. The pass, that OG hit. Then you go to game 4. And they won again convincingly. Boston had a nice little lead. Toronto just took over the game. Like I said, OG had 11 points. Played very well to me. Pascal played much better than he did in the previous 2 games. 23 points and 11 boards. Then Fred VanVleet, 17 points, 6 assists and 6 rebounds. You're getting more from other guys now. Kyle Lowry did better, 7 assists, 11 rebounds with 22 points. The whole thing is team basketball. Serge Ibaka, I thought, played stellar too, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Marc Gasol had 4 points again. Even though they won, listen, hear me out. I know people say, yeah, you got to get the win, though, to make everything better. But I'm going to say it again. Got you a true big man. Using. Come on, Nick Nurse. I know you coach of the year, baby. You got to use him. You got to use Marc Gasol. Because right now you got Daniel Tice on you. He just want to run down the court. All he does is outrun the Marc Gasol. That might be the case. I should say he probably got to go to switch the lineup up. Get him in foul trouble. Who's Boston big man? They don't even use Enes Kanter that much as their big man. Put them in foul trouble. Because Marc Gasol has an underrated pump fake. He has nice body control. He's pretty much almost 100% in the paint when scoring. I just don't feel like they're using them enough in the lineup. You're looking at Jason Tatum. They lost 24-10. 10 rebounds, it is, 24 points. Jaylen Brown with 14.6 rebounds. But Daniel Tice, to me, is outplaying Marc Gasol every chance he gets. 8.7 boards. Marcus Smart, who I thought should have been a little bit more aggressive with the 8 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I thought he should have been a little more aggressive. What else I'd like to see from someone else? Kemba Walker actually had 15, but this is where they lost at. Again, another terrible night from behind the arc. 7 points. I mean, not 7 points. Hit 7 3-pointers. 7 for 35 from 3-pointers. Made 7. That's what I was trying to say. Excuse me. Shot 20%. Not going to win like that. Too much center on the 3 ball. You got to dive more to the hole. Come off to the screens. Be more effective. Right along. So we're going to see how they make some adjustments. We already know pivotal game 5s. Whoever win game 5 pretty much win the series. And that also been known pretty much of a fact throughout the NBA history. So we're going right along. We're going to go to the Western Conference. We know the Denver Nuggets came off that grueling game 7. Game 7 for one from the ages. That's the best two things you can say in NBA. Game 7. Just because you knew what it was going to bring. You know Jamal Murray played his heart out. Give it up to the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell did everything he could, but they blew a 3-1 lead, which goes into an L. When I picked this series here, the game 1, I said, give me the Clippers in game 1. The reason I picked the Clippers in game 1, I knew for a fact when you in a 7-game series, but not since you on this schedule every other day for these teams, I knew the Denver Nuggets didn't have much left in the tank. I knew the Clippers was going to come out and win this game convincingly, in which they did, in which they should have in the first place. They beat them really bad, 97-120. And it's so funny because the plus minus thing. When I look at the plus minus, Jeremy Grant had 12 points. He was minus 16. You can have Paul Millsap, 13 points, 9 rebounds. He was minus 16. Jokic had 15 points, minus 24. Gary Harris, 5 points, minus 17. Of course, you had Jamal Murray, who was 5 for 15 from the field with 12 points. So another gear and take off, in which they was going to bounce back. And you look at the plus minus for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard was 12 for 16, 29 points, folks. He was a plus 20. Marcus Morris Sr., 18 points. He was positive 24. PG was a positive 23 with 19 points. Of course, you got Lou Williams, the former six man of the year, with 10 points. He was a positive 16. You got the new six man of the year, Montrez, 15 points, who was like I was saying about in this series in game one with the Denver Nuggets and the Clippers. As I said, Montrez, the new six man with 15 points. I just knew that they was going to beat the Denver Nuggets convincingly, dead legs coming off that game seven where Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell was dueling each other. I just feel like Doc Rivers had a plan already, so if they're going to beat us, we're going to make Jamal Murray shoot more, which he did. He's not a high volume shooter. He's very selective of his shots. I thought we was going to see more of a Bobo in this game. It's only so far been game. We'll be on game two. They only played 2 games already, so hopefully see some more of Bobo in his role. Maybe we see some more MPJ. So Michael Porter Jr. This is a young team, the Denver Nuggets. Mike Malone got these young guys believing in themselves. When you got a coach that's been around the block a couple of times and know how to get winning ways out of his players, he's gonna get every ounce of them that he can so they can win. So moving right along in this series where the Clippers came out demolishing them from jump, jumped all over them early from out the games from the first quarter all the way through the fourth. It's a difference when you have a team that's well rested in, two, that you have a finals MVP on your team, Kawhi Leonard. So when you're looking at Kawhi Leonard as he's taking his guys and rallying the troops, lead by example, probably not the most vocal person, but we don't know what go on behind closed doors. He could be the most vocalist person that you know, but he's more of a leader. He's a quiet assassin. Man, Kawhi get buckets. And Paul George has to do more. 19 points is not enough for my superstar, And for some reason, Paul George in the playoffs doesn't wake up enough. I don't know what it is. He has superstar talent, but he don't play at superstar level on most nights in the NBA playoffs, which is mind-boggling. I know if he see this or if somebody tell him about it, he has something different to say. Everybody got opinions, so it don't even matter at this point. But the whole thing is, you want more from your star. And Paul George, if Kawhi is scoring 29 and 30, if he scores 30, that means in every series, that means teams are about to get blown out at least about 25 plus. So you go move right on into game number 2. In that series, you're looking at whereas the Denver Nuggets commanded the lead. Jumped on them early in the first quarter, second quarter, halftime. I'm looking at this like, yo, this the Clippers getting smoked like this. And the Clippers are a defensive team. The Denver Nuggets won this game 110 with the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks, that is, you would look at where he was scoring 20 points and getting you 12 rebounds. He's just a different player when he's scoring that many points. We know they got two younger studs from the Denver Nuggets and Jamal Murray and also Nikola Jokic. You're going right to Jokic, 26 points, 18 rebounds. The guy's a star. Shoot the three, post up, can hit the 15 mid range, and he's a very, very great passer, which I think a lot of guys around the league should know that. I don't feel like he get that credit from mainstream media that say he's a great passer. He's a great that in that playing shape, becoming that player that he once was in the season before the stoppage due to COVID-19. This Denver Nuggets is a scary team for the Clippers because they got scores. Now, in the last series with the Clippers, they had to focus on one person, which was Luka Doncic, but they were still getting hurt by other players as well, like a Trey Burks and a Tim Hardaway, but more so like a Trey Burke. But when I'm looking at this Nuggets team, they got some horses. They got some horses that can compete on the other end too with those Clippers as their scores. We know who their main scorers are, Paul George and Kawhi. So if you can get one of them not to have a good game, and the Denver Nuggets can do this to them the whole series, which this series may go 6. I'm not going to say who I want to win this series, but I'm going to let you know sooner than later. Monte Morris chipped in with 10 points. I thought Michael Porter Jr. played as well too. 11 for 7. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds in that matter. And they also shot the three-point well. They was 15 for 40, unlike their counterparts who was actually didn't shoot the three ball that well. You're looking at the Kawhi Leonard and that game number 2, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 for 17. That's unlike a Kawhi Leonard type game to have points like that. Marcus Morris series only had 11 points. Paul George with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 for 19 shooting. He has to pick it up. Wherever Kawhi didn't finish, Paul George had to take it to the next level and be that guy who can score at will. He's not I think he's thinking too much to just do it. When you think a lot, you don't produce like how you want to play. So he got to produce and play. Don't even think about it. Just go out there and shoot. Maybe a shoulder injury again. You don't know. It could be a shoulder issue. You don't know. I thought Zubac with 15 points, 9 rebounds. I feel like once they get him involved in more in the game, throughout the course of the game or whatever, get him involved early, the sky's the limit for the Clippers. They can do a lot of damage. They're not using their big men either. Everybody want to play small basketball, but we know late in the fourth quarter, you got to slow the game down to a certain point so you can command that lead. Look at Lou Hot Williams, 13 points, 7 assists, But Montrez with 10 points, the new 6 man of the year. The reason why the Clippers lost this game, sluggish start, 17 turnovers. 17 turnovers. Out of 17 turnovers, 11 of those led to points. So when you turn the ball over that many times, you give up 2 or 3 points in a turnover situation, you're going to lose. It's going to be an uphill battle throughout the whole game. You got to climb all the way up to the top to get back to that game. We're going to see which team going to come out in game 3 for the Clippers. Would it be that Clippers that came out in game 1, like game busters, and jump all over the Nuggets? Or will we see the game 2 Denver Nuggets that jumped all over the Clippers? We have to see. But in this series, I would like to see the Denver Nuggets to win this in 6. People are like, whoa, sound crazy there, but just my opinion, baby. I don't get paid to do this. Just my opinion. That's how I feel just watching the game from a different angle than you other folks. But I like my chances with the Denver Nuggets in 6. As we still talk about playoff basketball, we got the Lakers and the Rockets. The Rockets, who came off a Game 7 thriller too, they play every other day too, but they didn't like the Denver Nuggets. They still came in. Russell Westbrook and James Harden combined for 83 points, but that wasn't the person who stole the show. Tip my hats off to 2 people. P.J. Tucker was guarding Anthony Davis, who almost getting like 8 inches in height, first and foremost. The second person would go to Eric Gordon. He's seen the mismatches the whole game. It's going to work. They was hitting the threes crazy. Robert Covington started the game off hot. He went 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Other guys were just playing in their role. Austin Rivers, who I thought had a nice game off the bench with 10 points. Keith said it before, he grew up in the Orlando area. He's familiar with them gyms. He played AAU basketball there. So it's second nature to him in that gym room. He feel more comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He's more in his own bubble than the players are. So when you got a player like this feeling confident in their shot and their will to get to the hole, it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a long game for the opposing team, especially with defensive end, when the guy is feeling himself, when he in that move, that little poetry and motion. It's a different feel. You looking at James Harden, 36 points. How do you guard someone who has all type of moves? He's a Swiss Army knife. Shoot three, post, hit the 15-footer, he go to the cup. He's a passer. He has a step back. He's the Euro. He has a whole total package as a scorer. He's one of the most lethal scorers probably in NBA history. James Harden is, because he finds different ways to score. He works on new moves all the time. He uses them in the game too. See the referees will bite on it, and most of the time, the moves that he has practiced on or did by himself, the referees are actually calling some of those fouls. So you talk about who guy out of his 36 points, he's going to give you about 10 to 11 points from the free throw line. He's just that type of player. He's very aggressive, just like Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is very aggressive too. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. When you got those two guys there scoring 30 points per game, it's going to be a tough time trying to beat a team like that, especially don't have a big man. They beat you at small ball. I don't know how they get these second chance rebounds on the offensive end. Don't know how, but I do know how. Let's be honest. The team that want to win is going to play. It's going to outplay you. They're going to hustle. They're going to dive on the floor for loose balls. You've seen PJ Tucker do that, dive on the floor for loose balls to get that win. And like I said, he's not going to be the strongest or the quickest, but he's going to make sure that when he's on the floor, he's on the floor. Mr. I got all the shoes. So when you go to a team like that and play, like I said, PJ Tucker only had 6 points, 9 rebounds, which is 9 rebounds is pretty good to get 9 rebounds from Anthony. Look at the guys he's going up against. Anthony Davis. I think he's 6'10", 6'11". Dwight Howard, 7 feet or 7'1". JaVale McGee, 7'1". They got some trees on their team, and he's still managing to get 9 rebounds. And yeah, it may not seem a lot to some players, but to me, that's a lot for a guy that's 6'5" or 6'6", getting 9 boards over 7-footers. So you got to put that into perspective. You're looking at going to the Lakers in that game one when they got dismantled, 97-112. Rondo kept sliding around on the floor in the west spot. I don't know how he was sliding. I thought, you got to monitor. It's a couple of times in that game where he put the Lakers on his back for a hot moment. He had a couple of clutch threes, a nice layup to keep the game close. Alex Caruso, 14 points. I think he should be starting. But the Lakers thing is, LeBron James has scored no points in the fourth quarter. In the last 4 minutes, he didn't attempt a shot. That's not like LeBron James. Just coasting. I don't know why he does that for some reason. Something you got to ask him. I don't know why he coasting that to him. If you ask him if he coasted in the fourth quarter, he's probably going to tell you he wasn't coasting. So if he wasn't coasting, I know he's not on vacation. He was doing something. He didn't look very alert for him to be in the time in that game, third and fourth quarter, where they was down by 2 or either tied the game up. They didn't make that key substitution. Frank Vogel's substitution to me is very questionable at certain times. You had you put Deion Waiters out there late. He didn't know what to do. Dwight Howard can barely get off the floor. The back is bad. He cannot jump like Dwight Howard of old. He's not grabbing the same rebounds at the high volume. He's not giving you none of that. You got J.R. Smith on the bench. You signed him. You don't use him. If you can't get nothing from KCP, it's not going to hurt you to put J.R. Smith out there. J.R. Smith played in that spotlight before. He played in that certain area where he know if the team can't get a bucket, you can rely on him. They not calling J.R. Smith number at all. Danny Green, 10 points. Danny Green ain't been the same. Ain't been the same. He has not been hitting. He hit 1 or 2 3-pointers last game open, but he's not the same when he's open. He's not hitting the shots. He's thinking too much. Just shoot. Shoot or shoot. Anthony Davis, yes, he had 25 points, 14 rebounds. To me, he plays soft. Call it what it is. He plays soft in the middle. He want to shoot threes. He want to do that. Go in the paint and beat him up. They don't have a big man. That's obvious. Go in the paint. Bully basketball. LeBron James, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He didn't score a point in the fourth quarter. Imagine if he didn't score about 8 to 10 points. You talk about a different ball game. A way different ball game. The Lakers played flat out. For game 2. They think we beat the Lakers in game 1. We can do it again, fellas. We had to go out to the same intensity. And, shout out to Daniel House Jr. I think he probably is in concussion protocol. Hope there's nothing really, really severe injury. Hope he's okay. I don't want to see a player to get hurt in that type of magnitude. Some adjustments the Lakers got to make. Pound the ball in the middle. Get them in foul trouble. You have to get this team in foul trouble. The Rockets want to rebound and get out there and run. That's what they want to do. They want to run. So what you want to do for a team that want to run, slow the game down and pound in the paint. PJ Tucker is undersized for a big man in his stature. So the Lakers got to get the ball more in the post and go to work. LeBron James got to stop settling for jumpers and threes and go in the paint more, attack him. You 6'8", 270, 275. Gotta be more. You gotta show the load a little bit more. No, this is your 17th season. LeBron got to do a little bit more to set these tone for the Houston Rockets. We already heard in the press conference what James Harden said. You got a heart, but you got to use it. Everybody's tall and talented. Basically calling the Lakers tall, but playing with no heart. And on that note, I'm Tay Wiggs. I'm out of here. Peace.